The Lord of the Rings is back at Warner Brothers. A big surprise yesterday during the Warner Brothers Discovery earnings call when announced by CEO David Zaslav. And if you were watching it right here live on Valiant Renegade along with about 1,000 other folks, you were probably just as pleasantly surprised as we were. Now, since then, there have been a lot of news articles and videos being made out there thinking that this is going to be a reboot or that it's going to be woke and all kind of stuff. Let's cut past the bull and let's get to the real story, because that's why you come here.
Today, I'm thrilled to announce that Mike and Pam signed a deal to make multiple Lord of the Rings movies. Lord of the Rings is one of the most iconic storytellers.
Let's get into it. Renegade Online. Well, welcome back. Another great day here at Valiant Renegade. It's good to see everybody out there once again. And if you are like one of the many folks watching this video that may not yet be subscribed to this channel, please take a moment and turn that little red subscribe button to gray. Hit that like button, hit that notification bell, share this sucker out on the social medias, and of course, please do leave a comment on this video before you head out the door today. I want to get your thoughts on what you think about Warner Brothers going back in to Lord of the Rings at this point, and let's talk about exactly what happened. Here's a clip, the moment it was released on the live show yesterday as we covered the Warner Brothers earnings call.
Warner Brothers Discovery is a storytelling company, and we are very fortunate to have a huge share of the most beloved and globally recognized storytelling IP in the world, including Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Superman, Batman, Lord of the Rings. And we intend to take full advantage of these one-of-a-kind franchises across our various platforms. In all that we do, we are guided by three strategic pillars. We want to tell the best stories, share them with the broadest audience possible, and we do that by working together as one team, one company. Today, I'm thrilled to announce that Mike and Pam signed a deal to make multiple Lord of the Rings movies. Lord of the Rings is one of the most iconic storytelling franchises of all time. And we're so excited. Stay tuned for more to come on this front.
Multiple Lord of the Rings movies.
A few weeks ago,
and
we are especially eager to thrill fans with new Superman
reboots.
and Batman.
Now, David Zaslav seemed very excited about this, and we heard Zaslav talk about not only Lord of the Rings, but how the DC franchise and how Harry Potter was going to be part of a three-pronged approach for Warner Brothers, the three tent poles that should be propping that studio up, their bread and butter. These are tremendous intellectual properties that he has a great deal of respect and admiration for, and he sees them as being big moneymakers going forward. Now, for those that may be a little confused as to how this is going to work, a reminder is that Amazon Prime, who recently did The Rings of Power, does not own the rights to The Lord of the Rings itself, as in the book, in terms of the TV shows or movies for that matter, nor do they have The Hobbit. Those two properties' film rights still reside with Warner Brothers, and this is why we're going to see a War of the Rohirrim movie, an animated feature that is being helmed by Peter Jackson right now, coming out in the next 12 to 24 months. These movies are to be live action films. And to be sure, they don't seem like they're going to be rebooting the original films. Peter Jackson looks like he is going to be deeply involved because at the same time that David Zaslav released his comments on the earnings call, Peter Jackson said this to Variety magazine. No filmmakers have been attached to the Lord of the Rings projects yet, but in a statement to Variety, Peter Jackson and his main Lord of the Rings collaborators, Fran Walsh and Philippia Boyens, said that Warner Brothers and Embracer have kept us in the loop every step of the way. For those of you that may doubt if Peter Jackson is going to be involved in these new films, that should put it to rest. While neither David Zaslav nor anybody at Warner during the earnings call or since has divulged any specific names who would lead this, if Peter Jackson and company have been involved in this process up to this point yesterday with a simultaneous statement to Variety magazine, it seems like Peter Jackson is certainly going to be the one to be in a very high-level position that is going to be overseeing these new films. Just like we got James Gunn and Peter Safran over DC, we have a yet formalized Wizarding World or Harry Potter franchise studio franchise head for that one. It does seem to me that Peter Jackson, if anything, is probably going to be asked by Warner to come in and be the head of the Lord of the Rings division. Even if Peter Jackson may not be the director on the ground day to day for each and every film, he's going to be more of a Kevin Feige position, or again, a James Gunn position, as it were, overseeing the entirety of the architecture. I think. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see if that is what actually happens. But they also mentioned the Embracer Group. And for those of you who don't know, the Embracer Group are the ones that actually hold the rights to the Lord of the Rings franchises, basically everything except the books themselves. And also a simultaneous statement from the Embracer Group at the same time as Peter Jackson to Variety and David Zaslav's statement on the earnings call. Embracer Group's Middle-earth Enterprises and New Line Cinema join forces to further explore the cinematic universe of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Further explore doesn't mean they're going to retell the same stories or recast the entire first movies and do them over again for modern audiences or whatever some people have come to believe that are being made jokes on Twitter. No, they're looking to expand on what already was, tell the stories that weren't necessarily told in the first movies now 15 and 20 years ago. There's a lot of material there that Tolkien wrote within those works that could easily be made into several more films. Think of an Aragorn origin story or something of the sort. There's a lot that can be done there. Not to say that that's exactly how they're going to go about it, but it seems at this point, rebooting the original films is completely off the table. From the Embracer statement, following our recent acquisition of Middle-earth Enterprises, we're thrilled to embark on this new collaborative journey with New Line and Warner Brothers Pictures, bringing the incomparable world of J.R.R. Tolkien back to the big screen in new and exciting ways. We understand how cherished these works are, and are working together with our partners at New Line and Warner Brothers Pictures. We plan to honor the past, look to the future, and adhere to the strongest level of quality and production values. And I get it. A lot of people out there are concerned after seeing The Rings of Power, but I want to remind folks that Amazon did not really acquire the rights to Lord of the Rings per se. They got to use the name The Lord of the Rings, but effectively got to touch nothing of the original films or the original book itself, The Lord of the Rings, except for maybe a few footnotes that Tolkien left behind on a napkin somewhere. Needless to say, we should all be very hopeful of this new project. I think it could be something truly great, especially as it looks like Peter Jackson himself is going to be indeed intimately involved in these projects, and why wouldn't he be? He made the first ones such a success, and he made New Line and Warner Brothers a bunch of money, and I think he's going to do it again. I don't think David Zaslav is foolish enough to go down a deviating path from this. There's a lot of material they have to work with, and David Zaslav on that earnings call seemed to be pretty forcefully reasserting Warner Brothers' dominance over the IP versus, say, Amazon. Zaslav made it a point to say, look, we have the movie rights to The Lord of the Rings, basically kind of sidelining the Rings of Power from Amazon. It was actually kind of a funny moment. But I think this is going to be good news, but I want to hear from you. Are you excited about Peter Jackson coming back and making a new set of Lord of the Rings based films, not rebooting the original ones, not remaking the original ones, but exploring other areas from the books of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings to make big new motion pictures out of it? I'm excited to see the possibilities here. Let me know if you are as well. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, hit that notification bell, share this sucker out on the social medias, leave that comment below before you head out the door. And until next time, take care.